Hey y'all, this is Abby with Abby Jams Artistry. Hey! So today we are gonna do a dirty pour with some leftover paint. So something I didn't really preface in my last video is I do all my paintings on wrapped canvas. I have them set up on push pins so that the paint can drip off the sides and it doesn't get stuck to the table. And I spray the back of the canvas with a little bit of water with this little spray bottle here. That just helps the canvas kind of tighten up if it's a little bit loose. And I pour over a puppy pad on my workstation here. So I'm going to use the same colors that I used from last time. So this kind of darker goldenish yellow and this lighter yellow that I had mixed up. And for my paint, I always use a 2-to-1 ratio where 2 parts is Floetrol. You can get this at Home Depot or Lowe's, or like me, I just kind of order everything on Amazon. And then to 1 part paint. So for example, if you were going to use 30 grams of paint, then you'd use 60 grams of Floetrol. Okay, moving on. So I've got a little bit of this light turquoisey looking blue and just a tad bit of this kind of shimmery light blue and this lake blue. And I have some, I believe this is called burnt amber. It's kind of like a darkish brown, kind of rich color. So these are colors from previous pours that I collect and save because waste not, want not. And for the dirty cup pour, you can just kind of pour the paint in any order that you want. You don't have to be very careful about it or anything. You just kind of pour it in and have some fun. So I'm just going to start with the dark yellow. Light blue. You could put a layer of paint on your canvas first if you wanted, and then that way that would allow the paint to flow a little bit better, but you totally don't have to. Or if when you went to go flip the cup over and you put paint around your circle of paint that comes out of the cup, that will allow for any of the design on the outer edges to not get rolled over, and you won't lose whatever comes out. I find that when I paint, if I go in without any sort of expectation of what I want it to turn out to look like, I'm happier with the product. Because sometimes the paint can be unpredictable. And that's the fun part about it. That and the mess. Okay, so I believe I have enough paint in my cup for, this is a 14 by 14. And let's get started. So with the dirty cup pour, you can do whatever you want. You can pour in a circle, you can do height variations. So I'm just kind of gonna go with the flow and see what happens. So now we are going to pop some bubbles with this torch. Okay. And now we are going to stretch the paint. The slower, the better. If you move too fast, you're going to lose some paint and it's going to be a bad time. You're going to have a bad time. Okay, stuck to the puppy pad a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to start going in a slow circular motion. I am going to lose some of those rings, but that's okay. I'm not going to try to touch the edges here at first, but I'm going to try to get close. Okay, you see a little bit of the blue, but mostly you see that kind of golden yellow and the burnt umber. Okay, now I'm going to make sure I get my edges covered. I was going to be using the weight of the paint to really get it to the direction that you want. So it's always important that when you stretch it one way and you're kind of done stretching, to bring it back the way that it came to recenter. I'm going to try to tilt towards you guys. And now back to the bottom corner. Then we can touch up corners once we're done. Okay. So I'm just going to shift the weight of the paint a little. It's kind of centered. And I'm going to put it down so I can cover my corners. Let's make sure all the canvas is covered. I just use my finger for this, but you could use a palette knife or, you know, whatever tickles your fancy. Okay. Kind of neat. Different. Alright, let me take my glove off here. Now I'll bring you down for a closer look after I torch. If I didn't say this earlier, torching just pops air bubbles in your paint. And if you get too close, that is also not good. That kind of messes up the paint a little bit. So you want to make sure that you're close enough to pop bubbles, but not enough to burn the paint. Okay, I'm going to try to gracefully bring you down here. Okay, I did not exactly get a graceful transition from the stand that I use, but Here we are anyways. So you can see a little bit of that lake blue and that lighter turquoise blue. I like the rings, especially on the corners because of the way that they bend. It is very yellow though. Not necessarily a bad thing, but who knows? I don't know. So I'm not totally in love with the look, but it's not bad either. I think I'm going to let it dry and wait and see, because sometimes the colors can change when it dries. Sometimes it gets darker. Actually, most of the time it just gets darker. I don't think it ever gets brighter. But anyways, I'm going to scrape the sides so that the paint stops dripping and then put this on the dry table. All right, thanks for watching. Comment, any suggestions. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Subscribe if you want to continue seeing my videos. And other than that, I will see y'all next time.